Okay, so we're back. Um, just a little update. So today is October 10th, 2020. Um, my birthday is exactly 5 months from today. Um, so I figured it was a good idea to talk about and maybe assess some goals. Um, so let's just put it out there. I am hoping to be. Hmm, hoping's not a good word. Let's put it this way. Uh, One thing that I heard at one point in my life that I am trying to hold myself to better is the difference between a dream and a goal is a timeline and accountability. I've got my accountability. Um, so let's talk timeline. 5 months, 40 pounds. If I can, let's give a little uh, higher goal than that. They say that the average healthy weight loss is like 1.5 or 2 pounds a week, right? Um, I'm not starting at a healthy weight. I weighed myself this morning. I'm 348 pounds right now. 348.6, I think, is the exact number. The exact is less important, but 348 pounds. I plan on being. I'm building a timeline and an accountability to be at or below 300 pounds 5 months from today, on March 14th, 2021, 300 or under. It's a big goal. It's not an easy goal, especially when you're like me. Uh, you could eat whatever you wanted when you were really young, never seemed to gain any weight. In my teens, I started in, I don't know if intentionally is necessarily the best word for it, but I didn't put any caution toward what I was putting into my body um, in any form. Um, I used to use Sharpies and color my cigarettes like candy canes. And I'm sure smoking Sharpie ink is awful for your body. Uh, my mom had remarried. We moved to Germany. I could get alcohol easily. I could get cigarettes easily. Um, I think basically the only thing that kept me alive at that point was the fact that I had to use my feet to get me anywhere I wanted to go because even in high school there, not a lot of kids had cars. So we couldn't exactly just hitch a ride with our friends to go places. Um, so yeah, I drank a lot. I ate like shit. That's how I got to be as heavy as I was the first time around because I developed those god awful habits early in life and just kept them going as I got older. So I have a bad relationship with food. I am a person who eats my feelings. I am a person who has a hard time prioritizing myself. I'm a father of three. Um, I work a full-time job. So I can afford to eat poorly, uh, especially when you can eat poorly for cheaper sometimes. So let's talk about diet, I guess is the best way to put it. I don't even like talking about diets because I feel like diet puts a bad thought in a lot of people's heads. It's my meal plan. It's whatever you want to call it, whatever word works for you in the way that you have to frame it for yourself. Because the way I do things for myself is not going to be the way that works for everyone else. You can ask most people who know me, I will eat the exact same meal four, five, six times a day, depending on the need. When I was training strongman and I was having to eat a ton of times throughout the day, I was totally happy eating. Like, I would have a protein shake for breakfast because I'm not good at eating breakfast, and then I would eat the same or very similar food every other meal that day. I've got no problem with it. If you do have a problem with it, don't try to do that. Don't think because I said that's what I'm doing, that's what you need to do. It doesn't work like that. Most people's brains aren't wired the same as the person sitting next to them. I don't trust that very many people looking at my face right now feel the same way about food to a T that I do. But I can control my food easier if I know what I'm eating every single time I'm eating. Um, and I'm not going to lie and say that I am going to eat great every single meal. I'm going to eat better for all of my meals. I'm not going to eat great. Um, so I'll walk you through what today was. Today was for my first meal. I guess you would call it breakfast, even though it didn't happen until like 11:30 this morning. Uh, Regardless of having been awake for 4 hours by that point in time, I ate two slices of low carb bread as a sandwich with honey ham, pepper jack cheese, mustard, uh, and a cheese stick. Yeah, uh, just like a string cheese. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. Uh, for my lunch, I had fajita vegetables, rice, black beans, chicken, uh, a little bit of cheese, and some salsa. I made like a burrito bowl. For dinner, I had ground chicken, seasoned like taco meat, riced sweet potato, some shredded cheese, and the crumbs from the bottom of a bag of tortilla chips because I wanted the crunch. Um, is that a diet plan that's perfect? No. Is it the way everyone should be eating? No. Is it a way that I can eat sustainably and feel sane and still be able to control my calories? Absolutely. Uh, I have probably 6 pounds of pre-grilled chicken that I cooked on the grill last night that are all fajita seasoned, ready to make into whatever dish I decide to eat that day. I've been doing a lot of like baby spinach with salsa, uh, a half serving of shredded cheese, and the chicken because it tastes good. It makes me feel like I'm eating Qdoba or whatever. Um, but I can control what I'm eating. And I think having control, it's one of the few places in my life where I feel like I have any level of control. And honestly, sometimes that shit's empowering. So don't be afraid to let that be the thing that you control. Like, I I can't be the only one who sometimes feels helpless about the things that are happening in my life, especially my weight. But that's a thing that I have control over. So like take that piece of control and like have that and let that be the thing you run. Uh, to get into a little bit more like broad ideas about it, this is going to end up being a longer video than I intended, but I'm trying to touch a lot of bases and I'm not scripting anything, so I'm just going. Um, they say like based on the stuff that I've like researched over time and the articles I've read and all of that kind of stuff. So you should look at your current body weight, multiply uh, by 10, and that should be the number of calories that you eat in a day. It's kind of bullshit though, right? Um, I'm really trying not to use the F word. uh, I don't want to get too intense I want to be able to reach a broader spectrum of people. I want people to understand that like there are kids that sometimes need to hear the things I have to say. If I was 13 and was able to hear myself now talking about how unhappy I am with my weight, it probably would have changed some things about the way I grew up. But okay, so that means that I should be eating 3,485 calories a day. That's unnecessary. It's absurd. Uh, but here's the other side of that. Could I lose weight doing it? Probably. Sure, a good chunk of it depends on my activity level, which honestly lately hasn't been great. It's another reason I'm trying to create the accountability here. But so like, could I multiply by 8 calories and get the number that I need? Like, I'm not a math magician. Yes, I said that on purpose. Uh, but so like, I'm gonna pull up my calendar here or my calculator here, and 8 times 348 pounds, 2,700 calories. That's still a lot of calories for an average person. But do I think somebody eating 2,700 calories a day when they weigh 350 pounds is going to be able to lose weight and not break themselves trying to eat the most minuscule amount of food they can put on their plate? 100%. I feel like there is allowed to be a certain level of sanity for yourself when you're creating your meal plan. Now, do I also think somebody who weighs as much as I do could eat less and still make it through a day? Oh yeah. Um, 150% yes. Uh, there is no reason for me personally. Again, I know all of us have different relationships with our food and our bodies and everything, but I will just say there is no reason in my mind that I should try to make room for myself to be able to cheat on the plan I'm making for myself. I'm almost 35 years old. I've had 35 years of cheat meals. I don't need them. Like, not every meal that I eat needs to be an experience. Not every meal that I eat is a celebration. Granted, my two youngest kids just had birthdays last week. Holy cow. Ah, my youngest's birthday was just 8 days ago. So like, do I allow myself to have a celebration? To an extent, yeah. Um, but again, not everyone can operate the same way. I don't think that me saying, well, you could technically probably lose weight while eating almost 3,500 calories a day is a good idea for most people because you're going to build in the ability to not eat according to the plan you're making. You're going to build in ways for you to cheat your way around things like, well, if I don't eat lunch, I can have ice cream with dinner. That's not the way you should be looking at it. Like if you're gonna buckle down with me and if you're gonna help yourself, you gotta buckle down. Like there's gotta be some hurt to it. And I'm not saying never eat sweets again. I'm not saying anything like that. But I am saying, you know yourself, and if you know that allowing yourself to eat 3,000 plus calories a day while losing weight is going to let you put that mentality into it, and trust me, I do it. That's why I'm not sitting at trying to eat 3,000 plus calories a day. I do exactly that. I go, oh, a bag of Skittles is only 250 of those 3,000 calories, so I could have 2 bags of Skittles a day and still be able to eat 2,500 to 3,000 more calories? Man, I could have all the protein I need to fuel my muscles and eat a crap load of candy. It's not where you want to be, because honestly, you don't have the time. If you are a person like me who is sitting at dangerously high body fat levels, you don't have the time to give yourself 500 to 1,000 to 1,500. I mean, let's be honest. If a normal person's diet, according to what all of the packaging is based off of, right? You look at the back of a package of food and it says there's this many calories, this much sugar, this much carb, this much fat, this much protein, blah, 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 blah. We'll get into all of that stuff more in depth because I do have a good basis for what people could and should be doing to eat to fuel their bodies. Um, the thing that you have to keep in mind is that the back of that package says based on a 2,000 calorie diet. If you're eating double that, you could literally eat 2,000 calories of all of the right things and be giving yourself 1,500 calories of diabetes, 1,500 calories of heart disease, 1,500 calories of less time with your family as you grow older. And is that worth it? I don't see how it is anymore. And that's a big part of what this is all about for me. Like I don't 1,500 calories of cake or 1,500 extra calories of Taco Bell is not worth not seeing my youngest child graduate. And that's all there is to it.